Today's session is designed for food exporters, manufacturers, and business leaders who are interested in entering or scaling in the Israeli market, a region with a tremendous opportunity, especially for high quality, value added, and certified food products. During this webinar, we will cover a market overview and trends, Košer certification, export strategy, and practical insights. And also we'll have a Q&A session and discussion and the very end of our webinar. The Israeli food and beverage market is rapidly evolving with rising consumer demand for high quality, organic, and value-added food products, precisely the kind of offering that many Lithuanian F&B exporters specialize in. And at the same time, Israel is gradually liberalizing its import regulations, making space for new European suppliers to enter its food market more easily. For Lithuanian exporters, this presents a strong opportunity to scale up in a growing, sophisticated market by targeting niche segments like kosher certified, organic, and long shelf life goods. So it's an honor to introduce our dear speakers, Dr. Antanas Venskus, Head of International Cooperation and Export Promotion Division at Ministry of Agriculture of Lithuania, Mr. Alexei Podgur, Business Development Executive at the Federation of Israeli Chambers of Commerce, and Rabbi Raphael Wolf, representing Top K International Kosher Certification Company. Now then, let's move to our first speaker. And let me invite Mr. Alexei Podgur, Business Development Executive at the Federation of Israeli Chambers of Commerce. And Alexei works closely with international companies seeking to enter the Israeli market and has deep insights into trade dynamics, import regulations, and partnership building in Israel. So today he will help us to understand current market opportunities and what Lithuanian food exporters should know when approaching Israeli distributors and retailers. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, perfect.
Great. So I just share my screen, okay?
Yes,
presentation. Great. Let me know if you can. Okay.
Yes, we can see the presentation. Okay.
So good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to, you know what, I will unshare it for a second. I would like to say thank you, Miss Irma, and thank you, dear Donata, for providing me the opportunity to present this topic. Donata and myself, we are working in a close partnership for over a year to promote trade between the countries. And I can say that Donata is undoubtedly one of the most successful foreign economic attaches here in Israel, to be honest. As Ms. Irma mentioned, my name is Alexei Podgur, a business development executive responsible for the European markets at the Federation of Israeli Chambers of Commerce, FICC. Our organization is the oldest and largest business organization in Israel. Was established in 1919. It represents over 100 different sectors and more than 5,000 members in Israel. And of course, today we're going to discuss the food market in Israel. So let me share the screen now. Just a second. You see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Great. So today we're going to discuss very briefly about a short overview of the market and the background, trends and consumer behavior, regulatory environment, and opportunities. So before we're diving into the food market specifically, I would like to give you a quick sense of what Israel is about. So of course, everyone see Israel or talks about Israel as a startup nation. Israel is known globally as a startup nation, and it has actually one of the highest numbers of startups per capita, 32 startups per 100,000 people. And this culture of innovation also makes Israelis more open to trying new ideas and also new products, new foods, and new partnerships, including, as I mentioned, that when it comes to food, we're not the number 14 today. It was updated. We're number 8 happiest country according to World Happiness Report 2025. It's a bit strange because the environment here is sometimes tough, but I'm trying to provide you the most information from the ground. So just to feel Israel, okay? People here, some of the people here are living. I'm sorry that I'm telling it like it's the last day of their life. And they basically are trying to enjoy life and to buy sometimes high quality food. This trend of high quality food is very growing, as well as, for example, sometimes luxury cars and stuff like this. So just to understand a bit the mind of some of the Israelis. Israel is also an international religious center. So it's a center for the 3 major religions, attracting millions of visitors each year. And this kind of international mix is also felt in the food culture. And of course, we have here great food, from what I think, at least. Israel is a home for a very diverse types of food cultures, and this is very, very important to understand it. It's influenced by Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, North African, Eastern European, and Western European markets and kitchens. Just an example, myself, I was born in Ukraine, Odessa. My wife is a mix of Polish, Austrian, and Romanian. And in our building, we can find people which their parents came from Morocco, from Iraq, from Yemen, from United States, from anywhere. So out of around 10 million people, the country, is a home for Jewish communities, as I said, from around the world. Very large population here comes from the former Soviet Union. Okay, and we also, of course, and just to mention, just to let you know, also from Ethiopia, Jews comes from Ethiopia, so very, very, very diverse. About 21% of the population are also Arabs, which are Muslims, Christians, Druze. For example, the Christians, they have more Lebanese kitchen, which was also affected by French kitchen. So very, very diverse. Also always looking for new types of foods, and it can be really great for exporters. I will say that, of course, Lithuania can be connected to the Eastern, Western, and Middle Europe people here in Israel. And also, I know that there is already an import from Lithuania, also of non-kosher food, which we will discuss later, this market a bit. Okay, a lot of people don't know Israel and how small it is. So just to give you an idea, Israel is here, okay? This part, the small part, is the West Bank. This is Gaza. And Israel is 22,000 square kilometers. It's 3 times, I think, smaller than Lithuania. Yes, 3 times smaller than Lithuania. However, the population is 3 times higher. As far as I remember, Lithuania is almost 3 million people. In Israel are 10 million people. Some key figures about the food market in Israel. Okay, so food market in Israel is 22 billion USD. Compared, for example, I took a comparison from this area, and with the same population of 10 million, it's in Greece, for example, is 57 billion. Israel is 22. I mean, Greece is much bigger than Israel, and still it's half, almost half. Food and drinks account for 19% of the total imports into Israel. Of course, it shows the reliance or the dependence of Israel on external markets. And just also one thing more to understand, I'll go back to the map. Israel is like an island, okay, around. So although we are neighboring with Egypt and we have peace with Egypt, we almost don't import food from Egypt, unfortunately, due to very lots of reasons. The same is with Jordan. We have quiet peace with Jordan, but what is called cold peace with Jordan, but we don't bring almost any food from there. So we're bringing most of our food through the sea. Europe is one of the largest importers into Israel. High household food expenditure. So food accounts for between 16 and 18 of average household spending compared to OECD countries, which is of course also good for importers. Growing interest in global brands. So yes, so as I mentioned again, we have a big openness to new markets, to new types of foods, and on the other hand, and also we have a very high prices in Israel, extremely high. I mean, if you come to Israel, anyone who comes to Israel says like, "Come on, what is this?" It's very high. The government is trying to struggle it with different measures, and the importers, of course, are always seeking for new markets because they have pressure from let's say, from the citizens to lower the prices, okay? So they're always looking for new markets. I personally work with importers, and I see how they're going to exhibitions and their outreach to new importers. We have here the rabbi will in a few minutes speak about Košer. We have here the Košer thing. But the non-kosher market is also exists, and it's growing. It's growing. Actually, the last data I found on this is from 2007, and then in 2007, this market was 39 billion shekels, which is 9.2 billion. Billion dollars, which is pretty much high. So yeah, global health trends are rapidly penetrating Israel, but on the other hand, we're still a bit back with the healthy trends. So it's a bit slow here with the health, but it's growing. Okay. Sorry for the last sentence. Yes. So we can see, for example, data from 2020, where we see that the premium, as I said, premium products are getting higher, health products are getting higher, but I think that it's still slow. It can be done faster here. When we talk about regulatory environment, okay, so there are few important things, but I'll stick only on two. And maybe also later, if Donata wants, she can elaborate it from her point of view. So we recently got here in Israel the What is Good for Europe, Good for Israel reform, which is basically helps Israeli importers to import goods from Europe easily into Israel. Okay, it's also part of reducing the prices in Israel. Okay, so this is something that we can elaborate in another webinar. It's a long topic, but you should. I suggest to check it also with Donata and with myself, of course, later. And the second thing is, as part of the trend of trying and promoting the health issue in Israel. So, for example, Ministry of Health is mandated the importers and the manufacturers to put those kind of stickers on the food. So, as I said before, I'm really trying to make you understand when you enter to the supermarket, what do you see in front of your eyes? So you see all the products are labeled with those tickets. Okay, if you have a high quality healthy product, it will be with a green ticket. If it has lots of sugar, it will be like this, labeled like this. So it's very important to understand how it works here from this perspective. About opportunities, okay? So we have a few leading supermarket nets here in Israel. Recently, in 2022, the French supermarket Carrefour entered into Israel through a franchise. In the past, it was Inot Bitan, and now it's Carrefour. You can see it here. So the largest supermarket chain is Shupersal. They have, as you can see, more than 300 stores in Israel, large stores, small stores, through various types of stores, as I mentioned. And we have Victory, Rami Levi. Why I'm mentioning this? Because you probably will hear those names when you would want to penetrate into the Israeli market. So you have a pretty much. So this is the list of the companies you should know. We also have here Tiftam, which, as you can see, has 40 plus stores in Israel, and which is specialized also in non-kosher food. So usually the people who comes to those stores are people from the former Soviet Union, which are pretty much large population here in Israel, more than 1 million. Okay. So you probably can target to this net, and also other non-kosher supermarkets which are led by Arab population, like King Store and others, which can be also an option for you. Of course, kosher is also an option, undoubtedly. And when you get the kosher certificate, and Rabbi will speak about it in a minute, you will get exposure to a much larger population. But you also have the non-kosher, and this is also an option. Opportunities, food types. So in a very nutshell, snacks is something that importers are always seeking here in Israel to import. Chocolate, of course. Raw materials are very important here, and importers are always seeking for new sources. I mean, I'm doing this work with them on a daily basis. I can tell you we're always checking for new opportunities in, I don't know, in the farthest countries. I mean, also in Africa, to try and find, and usually the logistics is very complicated. One thing I want to tell you about logistics, by the way, because I'm currently dealing with that, and this is very important. So I'm not coming from the food industry, okay, and I'm not sure about food types which can suit to the routes that you currently have in Europe. But when you think about this, you have today amazing routes, which are the railroad from Lithuania. Okay, you can go directly, for example, to Trieste port in Italy, and to bring the food much faster than through the sea. This is the third thing. Second thing is that you probably do it already, but you can cooperate with companies from Latvia, and I'm sorry that I'm mentioning it, but also sometimes from Belarus, because they're bringing from Latvia, through Latvia, and you can have a full ship of containers and maybe they reduce the cost by that way, okay? When it and do all the route to Israel through Latvia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Germany, etc. So there are very interesting logistic options, I think, from my point of view. Another thing that I'll really tell you in a minute, and I didn't put it in the presentation, and this is very important for you to know, and Donata knows that I'm dealing with this currently. It's a geopolitical issue, not issue, topic, sorry. But there is basically an option to export food from Lithuania through Israel and Jordan to the Gulf, okay? There is a route which we're building, which is called IMEC, and you can basically bring food not only to Israel, but when you're bringing the containers to Israel, you need to know that there is also an option to bring this food also to the Gulf, which is an amazing market. We're of course talking now about Israel, but it can be together. Everyone can win. Okay, so it's also about in terms of logistics. Yeah, basically I pretty much covered, I think, everything, but Ms. Irma, if you would like me to answer on questions now, or
So I think we can leave the questions for the Q&A session, if that's okay for you.
Sure. Not a problem.
Okay. Okay,
Thank
so then
you.
thank you so much, Mr. Alexei, for valuable insights and for sharing your deep expertise. And now I want to invite our next honored speaker, Rabbi Raphael Wolf, representing Top K International Kosher certification. Mr. Raphael brings extensive experience in kosher standards, global certification processes, and the practical realities of ensuring food products meet the highest levels of kosher compliance. So today, Rabbi Raphael Wolf will help us navigate a topic that many are curious about, but often find it complex: what kosher is all about. Dear Rabbi Raphael Wolf, welcome to our virtual stage.
Thank you very much, Irma. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, Alexei, for all the explanation about the very interesting Israeli market. Thank you, Donata, also for all the organization. I'm here to represent Rabbi Yankee Hoffman, who is leading the K Kosher consulting group, who is one of the leading consulting group in the kosher market for Israel. So we will try to understand what it's all the kosher all about, and starting for the very basic and going deep into the industrial process, and then the specification for the Israeli market. So basically, the kosher is the idea of putting into, let's say, legal term, the biblical rules, Old Testament rules regarding food and beverage. So to give you an example, we have the very basic law of not mixing meat and milk. So we apply certain rules to oversee into our industry today, how we're not mixing meat with milk. And if you have a meat product, you must know that the factory is 100% meat process and not mixing any type of meat and milk together. There is many different rules who appears in the Old Testament, and that we doing our best to apply into the very new industry, and you know, it's evolving every time. So that's the basic of the kosher organization today. The work is to apply very ancient rules and try to make them work into our new industrial world, global world. So basically, kosher today is about traceability of raw materials and quality of working on the avoiding cross-contamination. As a general quality department that you have in your factory, you will see that there is many things that are similar to a general quality management of the factory. So I mean, traceability of raw materials mean all the raw materials need to be kosher. It's something specific, of course, because there is specific rules for kosher, but the idea is that the factory must know that all these raw materials are kosher. Like if you have a vegan plant that must have all its product or raw materials vegan, or if you have a certain quality certification that you must have all the raw materials applying with this type of certification. So it's the same for kosher. You will have raw materials that are kosher certified for a kosher certified final product. Also, you need to avoid cross-contamination. Of course, cross-contamination for kosher is not the same that cross-contamination in general, but the basic idea is the same, that you must assure that not any non-kosher product will be used in the same equipment that you're doing the process of the kosher food. I will give you an example. If you have a non-kosher dairy product going into the factory, you must avoid in the same line producing kosher product that will have impact. As we said, we in kosher not mixing meat and milk, so everything is very clear. You have meat, milk, and parve. Parve is a type of product that is non-dairy and non-meat. So you know that you can use this product in milk or in meat. I will give you an example. If you have vegetables, you can use the vegetables into a pizza with milk, and you can use them also as well into a meat product. So there is no problem for using the parve product in both categories, but you cannot mix the meat and the milk. So if you have in the factory a dairy product, you must mark and label the product as a dairy product. And that's the idea. So if you have a line that is producing, let's say, candies with milk powder, and you have also different other candies without the milk powder, we must know that the line can be affected by the ingredients that are worked into this line. So that's the second idea of kosher. It's checking raw materials first, and then also equipment. The third part, and is also can be sometimes complex, is the religious rules. So in every product, you will have one of the parts that will need more attention. You have some products that are complex for raw materials. If you're doing let's say flavoring, so you have a very long list of raw materials into a flavor, and that must pay attention to make sure that all your raw materials are kosher. But maybe in the equipment, you're working like a laboratory. It's very strict controlled, and so it's easy to make the equipment kosher because anyway you're working in a very high standard cleaning procedures. So this part will be easy. And then also the religious part can be very easy because none will apply it. In another hand, you can have very simple products regarding raw materials. I will give you an example. Canned vegetables that can be done in a very easy way. It's only vegetables with water, salt, and maybe sometimes sugar. And then you have no issue with raw materials. But in the same factory, you will do also other products, prepared meals with maybe meat, maybe chicken, maybe some cheese, non-kosher products. So we'll have a problem of cross-contamination. The equipment who is serving to do the canned product with a very simple product are contaminated with non-kosher food, and that can be problematic. So you need to pay attention in the second part of the kosher rules. And In some case, you will not have any problem of cross-contamination because everything is done in a way that you have no difficulties to kosherize the equipment, or it's totally separate line. You have no problem with the raw materials because the raw materials are easy raw materials, but you have some specific religious rules, like the rabbi need to light the oven of the factory, so it needs to come for every production. So that's also some complexity. Many different kosher religious rule can apply or not in different products. We will not get deep in because it can be complex, and I don't want to lose your time in some very specific details. But the idea is to understand that there is three parts of the kosher certification: raw materials, equipment, and also some specific religious rules that can apply. And we need to pay attention to all three of them. Sometimes the three of them are very easy, not changing any part of your processing, but sometimes some adjustment are needed, and that's the idea of being followed from the beginning to the end, because not only the final process of getting the kosher certificate is important, it's important to get also the good advice on how and which solution are the easiest, because we need to look every time at the process that are into the industry, and to know which solution are the easiest to apply in your specific case. There is of course general rules, but every factory is different. Every type of industry is very different and can have very specific and different rules. I will give you two examples of products that can look like similar, but are very different. If you're doing some juice, fruit juice, so if the fruit is 100% apple, let's say, you can have 100% apple juice that is totally kosher. If the factory is doing only apple, only fruit juice, can be totally kosher, just with an audit, annual audit, like for a different quality audit. You have the rabbi coming once a year or twice a year, checking that the factory is doing only the apple juice, everything is okay, and then the factory is kosher certified annually basis. You can take a product that on the secular eyes look very similar, grape juice. For grape juice, you will tell me, okay, it's the same process, but no, grape juice needs to be done by a rabbi from the beginning to the end of the bottling. So from the harvesting till the end of the bottling, the rabbi is managing the entire process, and it's very complex. So there is product that can look very similar but can have very big impact regarding kosher. So that's the reason why it's very important to have not only the kosher organization that will certify you, but a good partnership with a company that will give you the right advice how to manage the product and to which market you will get them in the easiest way. Now that's the basic of the kosher. It's regarding it's global rules that all the kosher organization will apply for all the different countries, not only for Israel, but if you're selling to the US market kosher product, it will also apply. And then there is something important to know, that there are many kosher organizations, and for you to choose the good partnership, as I said, it's important to have the good advising, because not all the kosher organizations have the same standards. There are various standards in kosher certification. There are some things that are kosher, but some markets need, let's say, I will call it a super kosher. It's called, in Israel, you will probably heard the term of mehadrin, badatz. It's, let's say, a super kosher, and that can help you getting into specific market. So it is very important to choose the right partnership in the beginning to make sure that the product will get into the right market. Sometimes it's a waste of time trying to have the super kosher because your product is only on a level of a kosher and cannot get the super kosher. So you will get into a super kosher, but you will get headache. And the idea is to help you choose the right partnership for the kosher certification, to make sure that you getting the right service, the right certification, and it's helping your product getting into the right market. Then after you have choose a kosher organization, that's also applied to all the general kosher market. There is also a very important point that is specific to Israel. In Israel, the government have decided that not anybody can put a label of kosher product on the product. Let's say if you want to sell your product in France or in the US market, you can just decide that it's a kosher product and mark it as a kosher. Nobody will sue you because people are eating kosher based on a kosher certification that they are trusting and it's recognized, so they will see a specific label and decide to eat it or not. In Israel, the government have decided that it's a problem of fraud, and they have made a kosher law that only the chief rabbinate of Israel have the right to decide what is kosher and what is not kosher. So there is a specific organization, it's called the Chief Rabbinate of Israel, who is giving kosher certification for all the product. Now, how it's working? The Chief Rabbinate of Israel is giving kosher certification to internal product. I mean, all the products that are manufactured in Israel. What is manufactured outside of Israel, the Chief Rabbinate of Israel have decided that they will give mandate to different kosher organizations. So there is a list of the kosher organizations that are approved by the Israeli rabbinate, and those organizations are working into the international market in the different countries, and they can give kosher certification for a product that will be imported to Israel. Now, what is important, that all these kosher organizations are accepted by the Israeli rabbinate. There is a list of them, must check that the kosher organization who is giving you kosher certification is one who is approved by the Israeli rabbinate, because if it's not approved, can be kosher but will not get by law into the Israeli market. So that is important point, because some kosher organization can be very serious kosher organization, but they have not been validated by the Israeli rabbinate, so they cannot get you into the Israeli market. That's something that's very important to know. And then also a kosher organization that is validated by the Israeli rabbinate must take the Israeli rabbinate rules for the Israeli market. So I will give you an example. Milk is a very sensitive product in the kosher market. And as I said, there is a super kosher standard for milk that is called Halav Israel, and the milk is processed under the supervision of the rabbi from the beginning of the milking till the end of the product, and that is the super kosher. On a kosher perspective, you can say, no, the milk it's enough that we know that the milk is coming from a kosher animal, and then you have a kosher milk, because some animals are kosher, some animals are not kosher, and then you have kosher milk. If you know that it's coming from a cow, it's a kosher product, it's a kosher milk, and that's enough to be kosher. It's not super kosher, but it's kosher, and that's enough. Now, the Israeli, that will apply, let's say the big American organization go this way, and they give kosher certification also for product who is not under super kosher supervision for milk. But for Israel, there is specific rules established by the Israeli rabbinate that it's okay to bring into the Israeli market kosher milk powder. If it's in a powder, it's okay. But if it's in a liquid milk, they're not accepting it. So I will give you an example. You can do the same product. You can do ice cream, dairy ice cream with it's not the milk, it's the shamenet, but it's you can do it with the liquid, and then it's not approved by the Israeli rabbinate. But if it's with the milk powder or any milk ingredients that are in powder, can be accepted by the Israeli rabbinate. So that's a very specific rule that is applying to Israel, but there are some others. And all the kosher organization that you will work with must comply with the Israeli rabbinate rules and cannot getting around it. That is something very important also to know, that the organization must be approved by the Israeli rabbinate, and also the way of working, the specific rules are applying to the Israeli market. Then you have a product that is kosher certified by kosher organizations, that is approved by the Israeli rabbinate, and also made by rules that are okay for the Israeli market and approved by the Israeli rabbinate. Now, you bringing the product to Israel. As I said in the beginning, the only organization who is approved to give kosher certification in Israel is the chief rabbinate. Now, they're not doing the job outside of Israel, but as soon as the product is getting into Israel, you need to declare it, like for different Ministry of Health and all the other process. The importer need to declare the product and to the Israeli rabbinate, and have approval and a specific letter of kosher from the Israeli rabbinate, who is saying, we have checked the work of the kosher organization, we certifying this company for this specific product, and they got approved by the Israeli rabbinate. Only after that, the kosher product is already kosher from the beginning, but this kosher product, only after the approval of the Israeli rabbinate, can be approved to be sold into the Israeli market. Without all those steps, the product is not considered kosher by the Israeli rabbinate and therefore by the Israeli government. So that is something very important, because sometimes you can have a kosher product, kosher certified product even, that is not standing at the standard of the Israeli rabbinate and can be not approved. So if you want to succeed, you must know all the different steps, and make sure that the product is complying with the Israeli rabbinate. The idea is not to make it difficult. It's not. It can be very easy. It's not difficult. And as Alexei said, various big groups from Europe, as Carrefour, who I'm working with Rabbi Yankee on the strategy regarding kosher. Those groups working with various amount of product to bring to Israel, and are succeeding. So it's something that if you know how to work it, it can be done. Sometimes easily, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, but it can be done. The idea is not to afraid and to make you scary about the different steps of getting into the Israeli market. It's just to give you the basic knowledge of understanding what are the very specific rules and how to getting the best device and a partner that will see your interest into getting the Israeli market in the easiest way, in a way that the product will not be refused as a kosher at the end, after all the work that you will invest into getting your product kosher. So that's basically the idea of the kosher certification today. Maybe I was a little bit quick regarding the basic of the kosher certification, and I didn't get you into details of what is kosher, what is not, but we focused on the process of getting kosher into the industrial market today, and the different specific rules we are applying to the kosher market in Israel. As Alexei said, that most of the big market in Israel are kosher certified. Of course, there is no, you can bring non-kosher food into Israel, but if you want to reach the most, to all the chance to have a big market, the kosher is still the best solution. I will give you an example about something that is not concerning specifically the kosher, because it's about the labeling of the product. That's also something that you must pay attention. I will give you an example about wine. Wine have a specific rule that if it's a non-kosher wine, you can import to Israel non-kosher wine, but it must be stated on the labeling that is non-kosher specifically. It's not just a regular labeling without the kosher certification. It must state that it's a non-kosher wine. Now, a company a few years ago applied for kosher wine, so we make all the process of kosher wine, And then at the bottling, they're sending me a proof of the labeling, and they're sending me with the kosher certification, logos, etc., dimensions that are applying to kosher. And I was surprised. I'm seeing that is whited on the label on a big non-kosher in Hebrew, and then next to it there is the kosher logo, because the person who is doing the label cannot read Hebrew, and that's not his fault. He's in French and doing French wine, but the years before they have exported this wine as a non-kosher wine. So on the label, the Israeli rules was to state that it's a non-kosher wine, and now they just added the kosher logo. They thought that, okay, the same label of last year, just adding the kosher logo will be enough. So of course, that's something very important as well. You don't want a mislabeling of your product. The idea is all the step from the beginning of making the right decision about which partnership you want into the kosher certification, which kosher organization. There are so many different kosher organizations. Some of them are, like we said, Mehadrin, Badat, very high standards. Some of them are less. And so those specific decision needs to be made from the beginning, but also till the end, till you get the approval of the chief rabbinate, is something that you need to know that there's many steps. It's not complicated, but you need to know how to do it right. And as I said, thank you for the opportunity to explain the different steps of kosher. And if there is some basic kosher rules that we didn't discuss, and some of the participants want to ask specific question about what is kosher, what is not, I think in the question and answer part, we can also discuss that about meat, fish, dairy product, what is the specific rule of kosher. But I don't want to give you into too many details, maybe if it's not needed. So let me know in the question if there is any interest in specific rules.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Raphael Wolf, for the valuable information and, of course, better understanding what is kosher all about. So now let's turn to the Q&A session, and I kindly welcome our attendees to give questions to the speakers. So this is the very right time to do this. If you have questions, please raise your hand, push the icon, press the icon, raise your hand, and then you can inquire in English. Yeah, so at the moment we do not have questions, but we've received a few of them beforehand at the registration to our webinar. So I have a question I think that Mr. Alexei could answer best. So the question is, which categories or segments are currently growing the fastest? You mentioned a few categories in your presentation, but maybe you can elaborate a bit more. So plant-based or premium or convenience goods, and also additionally, so how important the organic products are today in today's market, and what expectations do consumers have for those organic products?
Okay, thank you for the question. Can you hear me right?
Yeah, we can.
Just one small remark on Rabbi Raphael Wolf and Rabbi Yanki Hoffman. They are members of our chamber. I work with Rabbi Hoffman a lot, and I can say from my perspective that they're doing an amazing job, and I recommend it, really. About the sector.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Of course, it's from the heart. From about the sectors. So from what I see, they are growing. The sectors which are growing are, for example, cheese, dairy products which are not milk, and sometimes they're also bought as non-kosher for the non-kosher stores. With milk, we have some issues here. It's a bit problem to import milk, dairy milk to Israel. About, I think that you asked about healthy food, right?
Yes, and organic, but the organic maybe
yeah.
specifically.
As I mentioned in my presentation, the health issue here is growing, especially in Tel Aviv, which is the one of the largest cities in Israel. It's still growing slow, but if you can bring products which are marketed, for example, if you can bring a very strong, name, let's say from Lithuania, and you invest in marketing it, okay, from this segment, it can work good. It will be like something. I'm sorry that I'm trying to explain. Yeah, like a new product in the market that everyone are aware of. The thing is that there's lots of, okay, this is something important to understand about Israel, okay, for any exporter or importer into Israel. In Israel, we have a large flow of information in our mind. We have, and every minute we have news, we have something new, we have also lots of different products. And if you want to be unique, you must invest in marketing. And then it comes to healthy food. Healthy food and those kinds of foods are a growing trend. But on the other side, I think that you need to invest in marketing in a specific brand. That's what I wanted to say. That in a specific brand, it can be a good idea in order for him to successful. So you need to invest not a little amount for marketing or for such a thing. This is how I can describe it, basically.
Thank you so much, dear Alexei. And dear Rabbi Raphael Wolf, so the other question for you would be, so from your experience, what are the main challenges for non-Israeli companies in maintaining kosher compliance post-certification, and how can they avoid common pitfalls?
Sorry, Irma.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, as I said, the work of K-Kosher Global Consulting is to help the companies having the best knowledge about all the different steps that they know. So a part of a kosher organization that will certify the product, the idea is to propose a service that will see through the specific industrial needs and helping him getting the best service from the beginning, advising which which product can be compatible with kosher in the easiest way, to make a good selection of the goods, because a factory can do many various products. So the idea is to helping him to do the right decision about which selection to send to Israel, which kosher organization work with, and also the final steps of getting the approval from the Israeli rabbinate and getting to the Israeli market in a proper manner, and make sure that there is no refuse of the merchandise or the goods for the Israeli market.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rabbi Raphael. So the main thing is to find the best partner, and then you will not face any challenges.
Yes.
Okay. Please, Donata, I have a question, I see.
Yeah. So usually I'm getting this question quite often from Lithuanian companies. So maybe Alexei can explain, also elaborate a bit more on that. So you mentioned in your presentation those chains like Rami Levi, Shupersali, and so on. So mostly those chain markets, are they working with distributors who are also your members, or are they purchasing directly? How this goes? If you can elaborate a bit.
Okay. Great question. They work on both ways. They have sometimes for example, we have an importer for Rami Levi, which imports something very, very, very specific, only one product. On the other hand, we have buyers from Rami Levi, Shupersal, which are looking constantly for new, and TIFTAM, those are who I'm working with. We're constantly looking for new markets and for new companies, as I said, via exhibitions, etc. So it's both ways. It can be a supplier of very specific products, which is working with the big nets, and it can be the nets themselves.
Thank you so much, dear Alexei. And maybe you can share also what would be the most promising entry routes for Lithuanian FMB exporters to access the retail and distribution channels.
Okay, so
Il est 11 heures.
I think that one of the things that can help is the willingness, the openness to think about kosher, about kashrut, because it can be a barrier. I don't want to call it a barrier. It can be one of the terms, okay, to enter to the market. So I would suggest to be open regarding it and to check it, and we can always connect with Rabbi Yanki Hoffman. We don't get any percent from him, just to let you know. We just connected because we're a member of ours, but you can, of course, the market is open. So kosher, and we can connect directly with our members, which are the largest in Israel, regarding opportunities. So you can reach out to me or through Donata, of course, and we can do it.
Okay, so thank you so much. Actually, thanks, as we're running out of time, so thanks to our all speakers for answering the questions, and for all of you who joined us today. Oh yeah, please, Mr. Rabbi Raphael Wolf.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I just want to say, so I was representing Rabbi Yanki Hoffman, and he's working for, I think, a very long time in the chamber with Alexei. I'm also accompanying him for some of the projects. And of course, Donata, she's in contact with him. So if anyone needs to have his contact details, phone, emails to reach out, please, Donata, you can share the contact details of Rabbi Yanki, and we will try to help.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very much.
dear. Thank you. Dear Alexei, yes, please.
Yeah, just one last thing. Where can you also meet Israeli buyers is, of course, in exhibitions. I know that buyers are going, of course, to the exhibitions in the Western Europe, but also there are exhibitions in Greece once a year. There is the Xenia and the Food Expo, which are nearby to Israel. So representatives are going there. So it can be also a good opportunity to meet them there. We can coordinate it together as well.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you very much. This is very valuable information, and it's good to know, so that maybe we can connect before some events in other countries, and to introduce Lithuanian companies to Israeli businesses. So, okay, then on behalf of Litfood, I'd like to extend our sincere appreciation to our speakers, Alexei Podgur, Rabbi Raphael Wolf, and for a remote speech from Dr. Antanas Vanskus. So for sharing your valuable insights into the Israeli food market, kosher certification, and the export opportunities available for Lithuanian producers. So today's discussions highlighted not only the growing potential of the Israeli market, but also the practical steps Lithuanian food and beverage companies can take to enter it successfully. And from understanding consumer trends and certification requirements to navigating regulations and building strong partnerships, we hope this session has given you clear directions and inspirations. So if you have any further questions or would like personalized support from Litfood or the Embassy of Lithuania to Israel teams, we are here to help you to explore these opportunities, and presentations and the record of the the webinar will be shared shortly, and all information about our upcoming events can be found at Litvo's website and LinkedIn account. So thank you once again to all of you, and have a wonderful day.